our religion. Okay, without Tauhidic, this university has no reason there. The reason of university is Tauhidic paradigms.
Right.
Everything we do have to do with Tauhid paradigm. So, Almarhum Prof. Kamal Hassan has explained a lot. So now for us to continue the legacy. This is part of Prof. Zul no? Your contribution, all the best.
Yelah, sustainable development ni besar dia punya skop dia. Start with rector punya sejahtera semua lagi kan. Banyak. Tapi nak buat benda praktikal tu actually, yalah, bukan tak buat. Universiti dah buat juga. Tapi SDG 18 tu yang missing from the UN punya charter tu. So, that's why we write a book and all those. If you manage to do this, you can get buy-in from the West, then it's good lah. It's only part of something.
Shall we start, Doctor? InsyaAllah.
Okay.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We start our session for today with the recitation of Kitab Al-Fatihah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya wa mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. Respected UMC members, deans and directors of IUM, ladies and gentlemen, and also to our speaker for today, Associate Professor Dr. Zulkifli Abdul Razak. Alhamdulillah, so for today, we can gather here in the Zoom live as well as the YouTube live so that we can proceed and we can continue to our program today, which is the sharing session with the title of SDG 18, Bridging Spirituality Values for Sustainable Development. And with us today is Associate Professor Dr. Zulkifli Abdul Razak, the Research Fellow of the International Institute for Halal Research and Training, or INHAT at International Islamic University, Malaysia. So before I proceed and give the floor to Dr. Zulkifli, maybe a bit introduction about him. Okay, so Associate Professor Dr. Zulkifli Abdul Razak is currently a research fellow at the Institute of Halal Research and Training, or INHAT, after serving the Kuliah of Economics and Management Sciences camps for 20 years, since 2003 until 2023, in various positions such as Senior Academic Fellow, Head of Department of Finance, and Head of Internationalization. Sorry. He also has a book, chapter on SDG 18, Spirituality, Values and Culture for Humanizing Sustainable Development, a future worldview, published by ISTAC IUM. Associate Professor Dr. Zulkifli obtained his PhD in Islamic Banking and Finance from University San Francisco USM in 2011, and prior to joining IUM in 2003, he has served the banking industry for 25 years. He began his academic career as a lecturer in Department of Business Administration, subsequently assigned to the Department of Finance. He was since engaged in several research and consultancy projects with the industry, and one which amounting to 70,000 ringgit with a local bank on customers' perception on gratuity financing scheme. He has also completed leading a research grant on the study of abandoned housing project amounting to 78,000 ringgit under FRGS from 2013 until 2017. To date, he has published more than 20 articles on referred and index journals, and also won several awards for his submission in the university research and exhibition projects. In addition, he has examined several PhD theses and has supervised numerous postgraduate students. He taught bank management, Islamic wealth management, marketing of financial services, Islamic financing management, and sustainable development. He was also involved in training programs on Islamic finance local as well as overseas. And in the addition, he has also co-authored a book on Islamic wealth management. So, without further ado, let's welcome Dr. Zulkifli. Assalamualaikum, Doctor.
Ya, Waalaikumsalam.
Alright, how are you, Doctor?
Syukur, Alhamdulillah. Waiting for
Alhamdulillah.
today.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. All right, so maybe before I pass to you, Doctor, maybe for a bit housekeeping announcement. So in our chat box in Zoom and also YouTube Live, we have provided the link of I attend for IAM community to time in. You can click and time in your attendance and do ask your questions in the chat box, or in the Zoom, you can wait until the end of the session. You can just raise up your hand and can verbally ask Dr. Justine. And for YouTube, you can just put in the question on the chat box. And at the end of the session, we will give another link of evaluation form, so you can fill in the form, and we will to be awarded the CTD points. So without further ado, I would like to pass the floor right now to Dr. Associate Professor Dr. Zulkifli Abdul Razak. Please welcome.
Okay, thank you very much, Brother Afiq, Inspector Prof. Suhaimi, Inspector colleagues, brothers and sisters. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi. Boleh nampak Afiq, can? Okay. So I wish to thank MSD for giving me this opportunity to share a bit of my knowledge on this sustainability with regard especially to SDG 18. So aware, we have only 17 goals. So actually it's the director's idea that the scholars of IIM should go and explore whether there is a possibility or a need to have another SDG to make it complete, because if you see the 17 SDG goals does not have a spiritual dimension to that. And yet we are talking about, good livelihood, we're talking about good human being, feeding people without foods, and also eradication of poverty, blah, 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 so on. Yet we don't have something that has a spiritual dimension. So as we do the research, not only myself, I think Prof. Saimi, Prof. Aziz Bagu, and all the scholars, we found out actually there is some relevant on spiritual dimension with regard to SDG. Okay, so I have a few slides here. What I plan to do is just to talk about half an hour or so. Then we'll open up, okay, for question and answer. Okay, I will present based on number one, the definition of what the green economy is all about. Then we move on to this concept of sustainable development from the Islamic perspective. Then we'll discuss on the sustainability and circular economy. Then we talk about ESG. So this is ESG is the issue that we're trying to address today, because ESG, actually the evolution of ESG actually is conventional in nature, right? So I doubt whether any Islamic scholars have really dwelt on what ESG is all about. But yet, some of this Quran, as we go on along, I try and explain all the hadiths and all the maqasid perspective touches on ESG. So my worry is that if we got the understanding of ESG from the West, then we would think that ESG from the West is the correct thing. Okay, we must quickly, in fact, should have more of these webinars, more of the sharing sessions to tell that actually what is the ESG from the Islamic perspective. All right. So actually, this is the main purpose of what I want to do today, and see that and show that actually Islam is forward. Okay, we have all this in the Quran, we have this in the Sunnah, and yet when we come to Western ideas, we are not able to put them. Even sustainability also we understand it from the Western perspective. All right. So we see the Quran and Sunnah, we see all the, later on that I will show some evidence, is that Allah has created this world. All right. It's green, not because green Islam, but it's green because it is stable. All right. It is a stable world we are talking about. That's why we talk about sustainability, where birds can fly high in the sky, and we have fish in the ponds. And then we have farmers. If we go back to our kampong, we'll see our parents, uncles or what, doing good work to the fields and so on and so forth. That is basically what green is. All right. So green is actually here is aimed at reducing the environmental risk. All right. So we should preserve green. you should preserve sustainability, all right? Such as what? Good climate, no pollution, no green gas, okay? No carbon dioxide, so on and so forth. So if we violate some of all these issues, then we are creating problem to the ecology, all right? You're creating problem to the world, to the stability of the ecosystem, so to speak, all right? So when you talk about green, of course, we talk about ecology, human, animals, and plants, and the ecosystem, okay? And each one is supporting one another, all right? So what is natural resources? As I said just now, the natural resources is what the human is using, all right? We use oil, and we use coal. At least at this point, we're using coal for our electricity, natural gas, all right? Air, sunlight. We use sunlight now, we're talking about solar, using solar sunlight, soil and water. Water is fine, but we have pollution in water. We misuse it. And of course, we have ecology. We have animals, okay? We have animals, we have birds, fish, and plants. So these are all actually supporting natural resources. But as it is now, our economic principles, we have not really taken care about natural resources. Okay, we think these natural resources is something outside, right? Some economists term natural resources as externalities, which is outside the economic paradigm, right? So as I mentioned just now, everything works in a cycle. If you go to the forest, everything balances itself. You can see, if you see the river, you can see the birds, as I said, they have its own cycle. There's no issue on that. But the problem is when men start coming in, all right, and disturb the nature, all right, then we have a problem with carbon dioxide, all right. We have pollution, we have oil slick, so on and so forth. And this has a result in global warming. All right, this is what I've been saying. We need to address global warming because there are too many of this carbon dioxide, too much industrialization, okay, too much smokes out there. All right, then which result in we go to all this come out to the water, it result in water poisoning, extinction of animals. You see sometimes in the news, people taking out rare animal, pangolin, and all those. These are for self-interest, and they can sell even crocodiles. They sell snake meat. They sell everything they can sell. So just 2 points that I like to pick up here when you talk about global warming. Actually, Malaysia is a signatory of the global warming charter in Paris. Okay. So 196 countries have signed up the Paris Agreement, whereby they agree to maintain climate temperature to not exceeding 2%, right? 2 centigrade, right? So by the end of the century, we are supposed to reduce it to 1.5 centigrade. So this is the standing order. If we were to follow this, then of course we have to change the way we do things, isn't it? We must preserve our climate. How are we going to do that? We can't be doing the same thing. That's why the theory is that, they talk about electric cars now, as you can see, and the government also, I think yesterday I read, Minister is going to change the Malaysian fleet car to be electricity, and we should change the way we produce electricity. We cannot use coal anymore. We're changing it to solar. And these are the things that is actually happening in front of us. Whether we really like it or not, this sustainability and climate change and all those, they will be part and puzzle of our life. So we as academician, all right, we as academician, we have as administrator, like it or not, we have to understand. So this is the whole purpose of this morning brief seminar, to bring realization, all right, that there is a need for us to change our mindset, change the way we think towards more sustainability issues, all right? Because if we don't do that, then in terms of the Paris Agreement, Malaysia is not abiding the Paris Agreement, then UN may impose what you call that, fine, and so on and so forth. And we are only up to 2030, meaning something about 6 or 7 years to abide to the Paris Agreement. Okay. The other point that I want to pick up out of this so many things is what we call this water poisoning. Water poisoning, right? So water, as I show you later, Prophet has more respect water in ablution. Actually, it takes very little water for ablution. But look at water sometimes. We see the water is just thrown away. All right. We see sometimes in our masjid, in our mala, there's no control of water. I think probably it's also the system, you know. But water poisoning, because I'm now in the halal section, at the center, is that it will relate to something which is haram. You know? You have poison, you have polluted water, you cannot drink. I generally cannot. You cannot drink because it will affect our beverage, our consumption. So this is also related to maqasid. I think Prof. Saimi can emphasize later. The maqasid rules, right? The maqasid rules is, of course, what you call, there are 5 elements there, which is actually religion, life, intellect, posterity, and wealth. Okay. So when you talk about life, later we will expand. What we said here are all causing problem to human. All right. Haze, all right. Haze can result in poor health condition. All right. Destruction of forests. What is the effect of destruction of forests? It will destabilize the land. And look at our Highland Towers. Still remember the Highland Towers, the 3 towers in UK, got destabilized because of water. Water below there. It's a result with what? Some kind of erosion. All right. So all this will has an effect on our natural resources and our utilization, which is actually our understanding of sustainability. So what do we need to do? We need to manage our resources. Correct. We need to manage our resources. We need to have clean energy. We must prevent what we call water shortage, recycling. So how much recycle have we done now? Or reuse of water? I doubt whether we have, but we probably try to understand. Only now we try to understand this sustainability, what this is all about. Right? Sustainable transport and so on and so forth. So I will share this video to just stress my point here.
إذا زلزلت الأرض زلزالها وأخرجت الأرض أثقالها وقال الإنسان ما لها يومئذ تحدث أخبارها بأن ربك أوحى لها يومئذ يصدر الناس أشتاتا ليروا أعمالهم فمن يعمل مثقال ذرة خيرا يره ومن يعمل مثقال ذرة شرا يره.
So as been mentioned in Surah Al-Zalzilah, as a reminder, there was, have I said just now, regarding typhoons. Of course, these are some natural disaster, but look like haze just now, flooding, okay, biodiversity, the issue of what they call that, this green gases, all right, has been actually dwelt and has been discussed in our Quran. All right, the Quran and Sunnah has mentioned it, but when we read and we see, we read it as though that's it, Quran finished, you know. But it is more than that, all right? It's more than that. When you talk about spiritual sustainability, These are the dimensions that the human should take care. All right, the human should take care and have the discipline to really actually practice the actual sustainability. All right. So there are a few ayat here. There are 4. There are many actually in the Quran and the Sunnah that reminds us on the Islamic aspect of sustainability. Al-Mulk, for example, all right, 6:7:15. Allah has said that He has made the earth tame for you, so walk among the slopes and eat His provision to Him in the resurrection. So until the day of hereafter, Allah has given us this provision, all right, to eat. But how much do we really share actually? This is actually coming to the sustainability. This is SDG 2, which is actually no food. There must be equal sharing of food. All right. And Al Imran 3, for example, has said that, and hold firmly the rope of Allah and all together and do not become divided. Okay, this is referred to, if you talk about ESG, is the S. S is the social, the brotherhood, the so-called, I like to use the term gotong royong, the gotong royong and fardhu kifayah and all this. This is part of the practice. So how much are we doing it, all right, to make this sustainable world? And Prof. Akmal, just share me. He says, so every we go to prayers and read Al-Fatihah. Al-Fatihah. All praise to Allah, the sustainer world. And that is sustaining that we read at least 5 times a day. But how much do we really believe in this thing? Not that we don't believe. We have a different way of looking. What I'm trying to hear is that we understand the Quran. There's no doubt about that. We understand the Quran. We understand the Hadith. We understand the Maqasid. But when we actually do somehow or other, we do not practice it. Okay, this is my worry. Why is it that? Because if we are Islam and we know these good and bad things, then we should also be disciplining ourselves and follow. If we follow, then we don't have that problems in the video. There's no flooding, deforestation, haze, so on and so forth. All right. So our Imam Al-Ghazali, which is also the author of the Maqasid Syariah, has said that man, no doubt, is compelled with 3 things. Okay, again, he mentioned nourishment and water, home and clothes. That is why in the Hadith during Prophet's time, we don't have people who have no food. All right. There's no famine during Prophet's time. Even now, we will try to reverse this. We're coming to Ramadan soon, right? We try and help one another. But how much actually are we protecting? Or is it our economic structure now that is enough to give or not? All right, we have zakat and all those. How much is the distribution to zakat to help people? All right. So we need to look back at what we are actually practicing now. So if you see Islam and environment, actually, they are very close together. That is why I'm even more worried, because if Islam and environments close together, then why do we have environmental issues? All right, because it is stated in the Quran. Prophet has said there shall be no damage and no infliction of damage. All right, and he has said that the world is free. Water, mineral water, fish, wildlife, arable water. It is meant to be shared by all members. But why do people come in and exploit? Even US also says so much about the sustainability. They have exploited some of the countries in Africa, so on. But they are supposed to champion sustainability. This is the point. This is the point we were trying to say and trying to look back. And as I mentioned, has always been our understanding, right? From the great Imam of Imam Al-Ghazali, I mentioned there are 3 levels of Maqasid Sharia, right? One is, of course, the embellishment. Number 2 is complementary. What I'm trying to share here is the last one. which is the essential aspects. Okay, so if we see these three things is very much related on our earlier discussion. Okay, we talk about religion, of course. That I quoted for Al-Quran and see the videos, right? The Quran and the Hadith is very clear of what we should do and what we should not do insofar as religion is concerned. Right? We talk about life. There's so much of life now. Life, we talk about can connect life to environment, climate, right? Pollution, all right, flooding, and so on. All these are giving problem to people. All right. That means our life is endangered if we are not following the maqasid. All right. And we talk about intellect. Intellect is providing education. Even this morning, we should thank MSD to give us the opportunity to have the sharing session, all right? Education. Then we talk about what we're doing right, what is wrong. This is very much of the intellectual aspect. We have Friday khutbah, we have what do you call that? Soon Ramadan, we're going to have Usra, so on and so forth. This is part of the intellect. Right, and the prosperity is, of course, the knowledge or the green aspects, whereby we are to make sure that the future generation, which is for our children, are not endangered. All right. I would like to give the example of the bank. Usually, said the bank that we have problems with finance of people not able to pay. The reason is because there is too much debt financing. All right. So what is the alternative? To have other use of zakat or wakaf, whatever, which we can help us to not let people suffer unpaid. The house cost today is easily 1.5 million. Who can afford that kind of house? 1.5 million. If you take 35 years loan, you are paying something like about 5,000. Who can pay 5,000? That means you have to have income of 15,000, 1/3. What kind of a job is that? Can we pay when we have to pay so high for a house? What are the alternative means? And of course, the wealth. Okay, the wealth I mentioned is more on the distribution, avoiding of riba, negara, maisir, and so forth. So it's this understanding of maqasid here. It's very important for sustainability, because all this is the trust, okay, that we need to follow. And the related, okay, is of course the concept of al-mizan. Al-mizan. So we are beginning slowly coming to attach ourselves to the ESG. In fact, if you can see here, this is the E, which is the environment. All right. This is the S, this is the social. This is the G. Of course, they don't call it a G, governance, but here actually more on the economics. All right. So if you look at this, all right, Prof. Tariq say this is still conventional, which in a way I agree, but we need to have the balance. My point here to say is that how are we going to do a factor whereby we have to please these three environments? How to do it? People of going to the forest, doing fishing or bombing the fish and all those, don't care about the environment. All right. We talk so much about haste, so on and so forth. Then, of course, the social, the good backs. The good aspects, of course, I say giving food, free food, no problem. There are people exploiting also. All right. The social aspects and the economics. So from our economic perspective so far, this is what I want to lead is that we are having the linear economy, all right? Even for Islamic, we also discussed the model is very much linear. So when we talk about linear means, we just pick up, I will explain linear more details, that there is a lot of ways in the linear concept. So I will show you some figure also, how much is the waste that is created. So in all ayat, and we discussed also among the scholars, they said, you must have a balance, right? This balance is called al-mizan. So I read you in Ar-Rahman verse 7, they say that mizan is a balance, all right? Such that there is a command not to transgress. Transgress means to violate against the balance, all right? So this is what I can think. I'm sure listeners here also today, especially for the economists, that the macroeconomic aspects. It's not the balance. All right, there's too much of using of money, and then we have inflation. We have problem with stabilizing because there is not a balanced economy. All right. Okay, with that background now, it's easier for now to understand what this word sustainability is all about. All right. So we begin with the definition by Brundtland, which what United Nations has said. All right. He said that sustainability is the development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations. All right. That is the Brundtland Report 1987, which formed the basis of Sustainable Development Goals. Before that, we have that, all right? But this is the more recent one. We have changed. The story is that actually they don't even have SDG before. We only have ESG. So ESG, that is why ESG is the money making aspects, whereby we don't care so much about all these human aspects, so on and so forth. We just see that there is a money for environment. There's millions. I can show you the figure just now. There's a million available green finance for us to use. So the question is, how are we going to use it? In what form? Are we still doing environment? That's why they talk about now greenwashing. Greenwashing means just, we think that we're going to help people. Actually, the project is not helping people. It's making things worse. All right. This thing, greenwashing, is later on, and still we'll discuss later. So in the Brundtland Report, number one, it says that living without limits of certain earth capacity, but actually is what sustainable is all about. And understanding, we said, the economy, so to. But where is the binary aspect? Where is the spiritual aspect? I said just now. Where is the mizan that combines all this? If we don't have that, the economists will weigh the way the economists think. The society will always think the way the society think, and we talk about governance on, but there is need a balance. All right. So this is the balance that we need. The spiritual aspect is missing. Okay, what happened then if we are not careful? I also demonstrate in the video just now. This is what happened. If we are not careful, we lead to environmental issues. Okay, for example, you can see there. This time they still release polystyrene. Polystyrene is now banned. The white plastic be thrown in the river there. You see people. I don't know what this man is trying to do. In there, maybe he's taking some of that can sell. Okay, but what has happened here actually? The strewn plastic polystyrene is being channeled through the river, and this water is a poisonous water that's gone through the river. All right. So if we go into the river, who is inside this river? Who lives inside this river? All the fish. All right. All the fish will be poisoned by all this stuff. And we are also, if we drink, remember, those in Selangor, I'm sure in KL also will see that we have closed the dam several times and shut down the dam. Why? Because they polluted water inside there. Okay, this is what has resulted. You not be careful. You don't understand what this sustainability is all about. And look at here, during Kuneri Kendara, there must be a big feast that we have when we have what happened to the waste. You see, the waste, if it's not recycled, this become here. This is the waste that I'm talking about. I want to show later regarding the garbage, So the problem with the linear today is that not that it is bad, but we cannot control the waste. All right. So you keep on doing this kind of economy, which is linear economy. All right. There's no control of the waste. There's no recycling of the materials. All right. So there's no recycling of material. They create more and more havoc. This destroy the environment. You burn the waste. It create haze. Right. Create problem. We cannot destroy plastic. That plastic is 400 years to destroy the polystyrene. That's why now the polystyrene is totally banned. Okay? It's changed to something more, what they call that, more bio something. They use the term that they use. So if you can see here, how much millions of waste that is coming out. By the way, this is SDG 15. SDG 15 is responsible for consumption production. So the UN experts are more better than us, but to me it's just common sense. If you don't take care of the wastage, this is what result. So last night I did a bit of research. I just share with you in KL. You know what happened in KL? 1 million tons of municipal waste, they call it MSW, is generated in Kuala Lumpur. 1 million tons with a resident population of just 1.8 million. In the federal territory, 1.8 million tons. An average of one person generate 1.52 kilogram of waste per day. Right? So what is the main reason that has caused this? There is no recycling. The effort of destruction of waste, all right, is slower than is more than the recycling rate. That's what you're talking about Kuala Lumpur, all right? You talk about bigger cities like New York, you talk about Singapore, and how do they handle this waste issue, right? How do they handle this waste issue, all right? So this is among the things that we come, and that is why now there has been a talk when during the recent economic conference of the concept of being circular, right? How do we talk about being circular economy, and what does it mean? How does it affect the present economic system? All right. So circular in general is, of course, avoiding what I said just now. If there's no burning, then we don't have problem of green gases, isn't it? We recirculate the water. There's no question of water pollution, right? So if you want to compare, all right, what we are examining now, which is that is under linear, you can see it's just a take, make, deposit kind of a system, all right? So we invent a product, even food product, all right? Then we eat it and we throw, all right? So there is no circulation of other resources as compared to the circular. So in circular, at least what the waste has been recycled, all right? So when you recycle, is there any more waste? Of course, there's no more waste because what has been used is being recycled. It's simple. It's just what we throw, like paper. You see, in the dustbin kan nowadays we see we have 3 kan, one for paper, one for glasses, and one for other things. There is this effort that, as I just mentioned just now, we want to reduce the waste. We don't have a circular economy. Then how to reduce the waste? Because the waste is keep on increasing. All right, this is the main thing here. The 3 R. All right, reduce resources, reuse product, and recycle the raw materials. So in summary, this is what it said. Reduce, recycle. Otherwise, you are having in the linear program whereby we just take, make, and throw. Okay, it's more efficient, more effective, have more long-term cycle and effect, upcycling, so on and so forth. Okay, so this is what we are trying to profess, we're trying to share with you, and the governments are all coming towards this now. All right, it's not easy, but it's just an attitude of change. To me, the sustainability is our own attitude. We have to train our children. We always have to make sure that we have rubbish and garbage we throw inside the proper place, so on and so forth. So we don't have that kind of discipline and understanding. How are we going to create a better world when people are just just throwing like that? Then we have a kind of a problem. We have a wastage problem, not never-ending problem. So this circular is just trying to say that it is a circle. So whatever reuse, it is being reused. All right, and this is concept. Later on, I will show you some example of the West, which they have already started circular economy long time. All right. So coming back to SDG, as I said just now, we have only 17 goals. All right, 17 goals. And as I mentioned, in the 17 goals, if you can see, now we become more familiar with what I said just now. One is concern of the social pillar. All right, social as mentioned. There are some mentioned SDG, like for example, SDG 1, poverty, okay, SDG 2, about no hunger. All right. Then you have the economic pillar. Okay, we have an example like SDG 7, affordable home, clean energy, and so on. This is all beautiful, beautifully written by the West. But where is the Islamic aspect? Where is the spiritual aspect? They don't. The funny thing is, they come up with all this. They never say where it come from. Is it come from the man's? Can man be so smart in thinking all this, or is it man-made? So, of course, for us, from the Islamic perspective, we would like to inquire, isn't it? We would like to inquire. We have to question one by one. For example, one of SDG said gender equality. Is there such thing as gender equality, or LGBT and all this? Do we accept that concept of gender equality or not? All right. So what we have here, some of the research that I did is, our concentration here is only the center here, the 5 P's, all right? The 5 P's is peace, and then people, planet, prosperity, and partnership. Okay, this is familiar. I think we have been talking about all this while, the SDG project, so on and so forth. But from us, I mean, from our Islamic perspective, we would like to know, actually, where is the equivalent of the Islam here? All right, I would like to know. For example, like peace. Peace, they equate it to nafs, which the life, one of the maqasid principle. Right? And also an ayat Quran that says here, I read through some of this ayat Quran, is correct. All right? Some preserving of peace, intellect, all right? People, we give an example, intellect of people here, and some with the hadith. But I would love to see, actually, this one should be coming up here first. All right? The Quran and the Sunnah, this one, become first row. Right? Then we have the life. Then only we come with the peace, the people, whatever you want to call it. The planet has already engaged with environmental issues, which actually has been mentioned in the Quran and Hadith about planet, about environment. All right. So why we need to re-educate ourselves? It is in the Quran, the Sunnah, to accommodate all this SDG. Why don't we take the spiritual aspect and practice, all right, and let the West learn from us? It's now the other way around. It seems that we are learning from the West. Why we come to the equivalent of this, and to say, oh, wow, this one, SDG is equivalent to this ayat Quran. Why do we need to do that? If we think this is what we are doing incorrect, which is only written in the hadith here and what Prophet has mentioned, then we should be the one who is championing it, isn't it? We should be championing it. This is the missing link, the SDG 18, so to speak. We should tell the UN and the West people, it's in our Quran. It's no big deal, it's in our Quran. For example, it says here, Al-Araf. Is it clear? Eat and drink, but waste do not excess. As he, Allah, love not to be the one who is in excess. So it is mentioned here, it is mentioned here. But yet, we are not practicing it. Practicing is satu hal lah. But then, we don't even know that actually, this is the ayat Quran that supports our the SDG. All right? This is a big issue here. And the Prophet has given all his teaching. It's very clearly written here. Do not waste. Do not waste water. Even in a running river, the Prophet said, do not waste water. And many examples, this slide is given. You can just look at this slide that I've given here. Wow, we don't know half an hour to talk so much. All right. Okay, this one I just run through. The reason why I run through here, not to say that this is a Western example, because the example is not here in Malaysia. So we have to use the Western example. For example, in Kenya, right? SDG 6 clean. They use a recycling, or they restarted recycling already in the project in India called the Blue Drop Project, where water is being reduced and recycled. So I'm sure India is also not very Islamic. Why they can think about all this? Right? In Kenya, for example, the harvesting system had been used, a concept of circular, right? And water loop, so on and so forth. Many, right? Many. If I can show here, SDG 7 using of solar. Now we're talking about flight using solar I think still it's experimentation, which is actually lately in the paper they talk about green fuel. They're going to charge the what do you call that? The airline company going to charge us because they are spending on green fuel. So you have to use solar, all right? Using solar for flight, all right? Green energy. And these are very good examples that has been practiced in the West. For us, we still cannot understand what is solar. Solar also don't know, okay? And Malaysia, our beloved Prime Minister have launched NITA, National Transition Roadmap. Okay, they have spent at least 2 billion in Putrajaya, all right, to put all these sustainable issues in an agenda, part of Madani, all right. So now Madani become very important. Each time PM mention about Madani. Madani is sustainability. We're looking for a brighter and cleaner Malaysia, zero gas, right, net zero. And all the, soon will be, I think today they're going to change the tariff rate or something like this, right? So Malaysia cannot run. How are we going to run? Because this is part of the government policy, energy policy, right? Renewable energy, change from coal to power plant. They're not using coal anymore. My daughter works in Petronas. She said, we are changing to solar. Thing has changed. Hydrogen, all right? In Sarawak, who live in Sarawak, they have hydrogen bus. All right, Sarawak is very sustainable, compared to West Malaysia, right? They use hydrogen bus, bioenergy using animals, green mobility, blah, blah. So this is part of our roadmap. Our roadmap is actually following the international sustainability agenda, all right? More example here. I would like to give you the example. This circular textile, who has bought a brand called Uniqlo? You say Uniqlo actually is sustainable textile, Uniqlo. And also other HSV and all this. I'm not very fashionable. But all this textile have a circular way of what do you call that? Of using materials. Right? Uniqlo adheres to environmental friendly. And also IKEA reduces carbon, all right? So these are the Western concept, and I'm sure their factory is in Malaysia. They will follow this concept of sustainability, all right? So when we work, then we will see we have to follow. And for us, I'm from finance. Before it's like we have to provide financing based on sustainability finance, green finance, all right? So here is a association of banks making My Wakaf to tackle the issue of a decent economic growth. Right, all this understanding is become very important of how to make a sustainable Malaysia, so on and so forth. So there's so many of these. I don't want to talk for 45 minutes, but what I'm trying to say here, brothers and sisters, is that this knowledge of sustainability is getting more and more important today, right? When we talk about smart farming, Felda is not interested now. We try to get a project with them to recycle the palm oil. All right. In all this effort, is living on land, so on, for so many. So where is the SDG 18? Where is the one that we've been talking about? That there is a need to have religious concept, culture, so on and so forth. So that is a missing content, right? So I don't know if Prof. is here. We will talk about how to get this book, the SDG 18 book, which is now actually also available, right? This book is available in Stack or something like this. And what we are trying to say here and trying to rationalize this morning is that the SDG is not enough. The ESG is just not enough because it doesn't have the spiritual dimension. All right. So now for me to explain ESG is very simple already, because with that, the basic that we have from the understanding from the Quran and Sunnah. So we see the SG as just a framework only, which is derived from SDG. All right. So what they are doing now is, for investment as far as banker is concerned, is to just group it into this what they call the SDG SDG dimension. For example, like social S. Okay, anything that's dealing with poor health, microfinance, we put it under S. Okay, climate, environment. Okay, elimination of carbon dioxide, use of electrical vehicles, calling put it under climate, green, so on and so forth. All right, effort by tenaga and all those to put under renewable energy. So as I mentioned just now, the ESG investment definitely is growing, it's growing. Because why? Not because of the regulatory so much. People are getting more conscious. So our study indicates that the younger millennial, or the children age, or I mean, that's going to in university now, 25, they are more conscious of millennial, what you call that, investment. Okay, because they are concerned about the world, they're concerned about the society, they're concerned about the climate, so on and so forth. All right. So anthropogenic climate is a term used by Prof. Tariq. Biodiversity loss, pollution, so on and so forth. Since people are more conscious, then there are ways to tackle it, meaning that the SDG performance evaluation of the products or the finance has changed, all right, from just mere approval to look at positive and negative screenings. Right? They don't look only at viability, they see whether this type of product does have a positive impact or not. Climate change. And my friend bankers, right, is now they say that no, the Besar Malaysia is looking to their ESG evaluation. Each bank will have to submit an ESG report to Besar Malaysia. All right. So when they approve also, there's such thing as ESG officer at each bank to make sure when they approve, they meet ESG criteria. All right. And just look at the data here, the amount, millions of money, this is only in 2021, 183 billion openings for SDG, what do you call, funds, many of them. And look at that the thing runs to billions. Of course, for the West, they don't call it Islamic lah, and they don't call it Islamic finance, but they call green. So green is general, green is for environment. And look at who's topping the US, 50 billion compared after that Germany. Malaysia also not in the picture. Indonesia is there, not so bad. So Malaysia got to pick up. Otherwise we have a problem in getting knowledge from the West and not understanding, and yet we're giving out loan. This is a big issue we're facing here. Sustainability bonds, green bonds. Okay, this is conventional. I also have the Islamic part, we call it sukuk. Investment. If you invest in unit trust now, I would suggest invest in all this, the one with the asterisk there. We have Maybank Sustainable Equity Fund. Okay, United ESG Camp. So when we see this, actually, we know that people's mind or people investment has changed. All right, and they study to say that the youth are not an understanding that has been changed. Green. Okay, just the last few of my slides. Green sukuk. Okay, green sukuk is the Islamic part, whereby we are not trading with bonds, we're dealing more in asset. And in Indonesia, I borrowed this from Indonesia, they have started a lot. So all this investment is done under renewable energy, sustainable resources, green tourism. In Heart also we have this green tourism, sustainable tourism, whatever, green buildings, house. So everything is green. Everything is green. Okay. And Malaysia also have, and I run this thing. Today, these are not the one in the market. All right, Sam Darby property, affordable housing. So everything has changed. All right, the biggest one here is Telekosang Hydro. All right, renewable energy, 470 million. This is the biggest one. So CIMB, they have a package of finance, 680 million total. I think about 460 million of green finance. All right, this has an impact on our finance department lah. They are the one they're changing all this. And look at Indonesia. So I'm scared about Indonesia. Why I said I'm scared of what? Because they are growing. They are, first of all, they have big population, greater awareness in green there, and when they go in, they go big way. Okay. So this is a model. I'm not going through the detail, but I need to tell us that from the economic viewpoint, obviously we don't use interest and all those. These are the models that we should go in zakat to make ourselves sustainable economic and social. We such thing as migrancy. We talk about just now Fardu Kifayah will come from here, and also the environment. Okay. So to conclude, there are a few slides. I wish I could have more time. It's to say that the sustainability concept is very integral. Okay, although we think sustainability, but at the end of the day, it's integral in our life. All right, in our life, it is in the Quran and the Sunnah, but we have not have it to be practiced. This is the issue. This is okay, right? Journal, find get promotion journal. There's no problem. But then at the end of the day, they also must have the practical aspect, because if we don't do, it has effect. It have an effect on us. Okay, it will affect on our health. It will affect our future generation. To understand the development is crucial. It is crucial that we need to have a balanced understanding. We talk about the Al-Mizan just now. We don't only talk about this economy. We have to talk about the environment as well. We talk about the people. All right. We have to educate now we are opening semester. We got to teach at least 1 or 2 courses to tell the students about how important circular economy is all about. Okay. And just small conclusion is that sustainability is a element of Madani. All right. So Madani is what the government is trying to profess or trying to put on. Its concept is what we call in Malaysia, bahasa Malaysia kemampanan, right? Kemampanan or kelestarian. Okay. So with that, I think, inshallah, alhamdulillah, we'll have to conclude here. I've been speaking for too long already, I think. Yeah. So is there any other thing, maybe 1 or 2 question easy that can help me to?
All right. Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Zujasri, for the explanation and also the sharing about our topic for today, SDG 18, bridging the spiritual values in the Sustainable Development Goals. Okay, so we have before we go to the comments, or maybe if you in the this Zoom live or also the YouTube live have questions, you can ask after this. And maybe I just read some comments or remarks from the YouTube live, Doctor. Okay,
Yeah,
so
is anyone in the anywhere to ask? You can just raise question. I can help. Yeah. Prof.
all right.
Sani, anything that I can help you.
All right, so maybe from the YouTube live chat now is from Yusuf Ismail. There are, when you say about disaster just now, he conclude that there's 2 disasters, which the first one is there are disasters decreed by Allah. The disaster are caused by humans, so man has to be prepared for both individually and collectively for those disasters. And from Prof. Suhaimi himself in the YouTube live as well. The comments first, which is we need an effective response to natural disaster with a multi-dimensional strategy that combines strong resilience, high spiritual and taqwa or God consciousness within the framework of SDG. And there are a few questions from Prof. Suhaimi actually here, which is what say you, Prof? Maqasid Syariah knowledge suits jurists, public, and should focus on fiqh for spiritual resilience, leading to taqwa and sukur. Yeah. Your opinion, Doctor.
Yeah, thank you for all those comments. Yeah, I think I totally agree with you. I think these are also subjects that is also being taught. I think at least in business, because I'm from Kuliah Economy, and also in RKH and all those. These are all very good. Even Makasid for that matter. But what is absent to me is the concept of the morality aspect. As everyone agrees, in Islam there are three channels. Number one, we talk about Islam, and then we talk about the Akidah. All right. Then we talk about the we call the Sharia, and we talk about the morality. Okay. So all this, what we've been doing, this is why good professors, Professor Smile and all those, we've been only emphasizing on the Akidah aspects, right? And even the Sharia aspect. Even Sharia now, when we talk in the last convention, they're trying to move on from just fiqh, Fiqh means no riba, no gara, no maisir, okay? We said we meet that condition, therefore the product, as far at least Islamic finance is concerned, is halal, all right? We can use it. But the problem is the last aspect is the morality aspect. When we talk people throwing rubbish, we talk people, burning forests and bombing what you call water. Where is part that we said that the practice comes in terms of morality? All right, this is my concern. That is why even Rector is trying to say that when you talk about the SDG practice, as I showed in the slide, there must be something that is in practice. Okay. It must be in practice. That's why we have what called sustainability education, USRA, so on and so forth. It is something that we have to go out and do. Otherwise, it just become theory, It become only theory. So even Islam, they say there must be some kind of fardu kifayah that may have to go out and interact, go to royong, so on and so forth. This aspect of it, to me, is absent. All right. So because otherwise we are only ending up with a good fiqh expert, all right, a good Sharia lecturer, and on so on. But we go and test them. Actually, they only see the issues what I said just now from the Quran and the Sunnah perspective. But what's happening out there? You see the West. Are you saying that they are more senior, superior than us in understanding the Quran? Why do they have in India that kind of project? Why do, example, like we have such thing as Uniqlo shirt? These are not the Muslim. Uniqlo is from Japan. IKEA is from Sweden. So this is my concern there. The concern is not to say that we are not religiously equipped. We are, but we are not that practical in understanding. Hope I answered your question. I don't know. Any other comments?
Alright. Okay. Another one, Doctor, also from Prof. Zaimi. Just now when we talk about ESG just now, and you highlighted about Mizan, or which is balance, right? So, Prof. Zaimi commented that Mizan is too complex for the average person to understand. So, from
Balance.
your point of view, what could be an easier way for an average person to comprehend Mizan in these relationships to achieve the sustainability?
Yeah, of course, Mizan, not only Mizan, all the Quranic words are very complex. What I said just now, I hope Allah has forgotten, will forgive me, because this is my own interpretation. That's why we need the Quran and the Sunnah. That's why, if there are people from Arctic Asia, I would suggest, maybe we can have one session together. And I would like for Arctic Asia to come with a very practical handbook, to how to actionalize kita punya ayat Quran and Sunnah, because we seem that the West are one step ahead because of this. And the problem is the West has been taken our idea. That made me even more angry, see? Okay, this is not nothing new. This is our Quran, this is our Sunnah. This every morning we read, baca now sembahyang doha and whatnot. But we are the Malaysian, the Muslim Malaysia are not so advanced like Japan, for example. Okay? I will say that Japan is more Islamic than us. No, they are not Islamic. They are not even Islam country. But they are the more clean than the Muslim country. And we are the one who are professing good behavior. Now we talk about halal atau iban or whatever. But when we are not at par with them, something is wrong, isn't it? Something is wrong. So we look further. Is it because of culture? Is it because the way we teach our children or what? This is the aspect. So coming back to the question, Al-Mizan tu we need Professor Suhaimi lah to make it make it a very simple, practical tauhid aspect. But to me, that's why it's very interesting. That's why I want to go into this sustainability thing. The more I read Quran, the more I come to understand, that this question of balance is the key thing. You need the balance of what? Balance of the environment, balance of the social, and balance of the economy. All right. So we need to have, but then again, it is something just like a professing like that. No lah, you have to go out and see and really do things that is really benefiting the society or the economy. One thing I can see as I conclude also is the concept of circular, that circular to me is quote unquote more Islamic than the present linear program, because you can see it can preserve, okay, and can save a lot. And yet we are not, I don't know, the economics teaching circular economy. Maybe they should teach now 1 or 2 subjects on circular, But otherwise we will be left behind, I tell you. We end up with waste. We don't know how to handle our waste. Then, Malaysia will be we probably there's one state in Japan where I did a research. There's no waste, zero waste. Zero waste. I don't know what the penduduk, what the society or the people live there do with the waste. So it is possible that we can live without waste. Yeah. And ada question.
Yeah, thank you so much, Doctor, for your remarks. As for now, there is none of the written comment on. So right now, okay, now here in our Zoom live, Prof. Ahmed here, or
Yeah,
your
Prof.
director. Yeah, so he commented with all due respect, Doctor, Prof. Zulkifli, is the proposed SDG 18 concept is human-centric or God-centric? Your comment, Doctor.
Both lah, Prof. I think I can only say that because if you want to say only human, then the concept understanding must be from God, isn't it? And then likewise also, if from God, then human need to practice it. But what seems to be absent in the whole SDG thing is that there's no culture or spiritual dimension, that comes to tie up everything. So we talk so much about being holistic, so on and so forth, but yet we don't bind them. The term that they use is integration, they've been also talking about in the last economic seminar. There's no integration of knowledge. There's no integration of our elements of, whatever it is, economics, engineering, also for that matter, to come up with something which is common that benefits everybody. This is the problem. If we think about profit, even in the 5 Ps, we don't talk about profit anymore. To be sustainable, we talk being prosperity. Prosperity means giving equal chance, profit sharing maybe, but equal chance of people getting the distribution of income. If you talk about profit, then profit is of course 100% interest based. All right, only one party will learn, or only one party will gain. So that concept, I don't think is Islamic. Although they allow things like, tawaru and all those, that's to me, they just changing the term lah. We don't call it fixed rate, call it tawaru. But at the end of the day, people still suffer to pay the amount. This is my view lah. Prof. I hope I understand your question. Because it's very hard to say whether God is human or not. Because when you talk about holistic, everything has to be binded together. Yeah. Any question?
Right. So okay, thanks so much, Prof. So yeah, from Prof. Ahmed, thank you, Prof. Clear to me. Right. So maybe I open for the floor. Maybe
Yeah, Prof.
in
Aziz is
our
also
Zoom.
here. Prof, you want to give some comment, Prof?
Right. Yeah, we open for the
Go
floor in
ahead,
maybe in
go
Zoom
ahead.
live. Yeah.
You just go ahead, bro. Go ahead. You are doing well.
Yeah, this is something quite new. Maybe what I said here is something that you all need to digest first and what you know. But what my concern here is that, you know, not so much of this, even SDG 18 itself, is that when we do something holistically, we cannot see only from one dimension. Right? We cannot only think about the economy. Now we are criticizing the circular economy. We know very well. Then definitely the linear economy is not right because the circular and the West now has changed. My worry is that the West has changed. They are going to circular now. You're right. So many examples I see, and yet we are still following the linear concept. How come? You know, if West has changed, normally we just follow the West. Because for us to take up the habits, you know, it's very habitual. It's very difficult, you know, you cannot change, but then, you know what you do something is not right. We know something right, we have to do very quickly. And time is not in our favor also, you know. We talk about all this Paris Agreement, the kind of thing. These are legislation, but to me personally, you want to do sustainable, it's not legislation, you know, it's your individual efforts. What we have, the discipline. For example, you go out, I went to Surau, I saw, you know, all the lights and on, you know, you have to close the light, you know, and then you go to bathroom, you see, as you go out, the light is there. You should close the light. You know, these are the things that we have to practice and show example. And for us, it's quite easily done because, you know, we have our student, we have our working groups and on to tell this. And when we teach, and we can tell our students, and you know, so we hope we have industry people to come in also. I invited a few bankers. I don't know they're here or not. That we supporting. So not only that, the professors inside here, the lecturers are all very expert. Yeah, very good at teaching people. But we go out there, you know, the industry thinks different way. So they may have something that we do not have. You know, they are very good at doing all this engineering work and all this architecture, whatnots. If I recently bought a book actually on from the architecture aspect, sustainability, how they build house. It's very interesting actually. You see that, you know, I just show you the book. It's me. It's a book that is architecture people will know that. Or when they build the house, they take consideration of the sun coming in, you know, how they use water. It's very interesting. And sometimes this type of houses can even be more cheaper than the house having aircon. Now we are using what the university trying to encourage using batik, something like that. Should shift off the aircon. I don't know the kind of thing can work or not, no? But at least we give a chance, give a chance that, you know, we want to preserve energy, what you call that, save us from this carbon dioxide and whatnot. So we should we should change our habits. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I think it's almost 11 already. Any more one or two questions? But maybe you like to show the SDG 18 book, Prof, where it's available. This is the book that we're trying to say. I think this book is available at Istack, Prof. So we can get it at Istack at, I think now it's still $70, something like that. So for second printing, I think it'll be $50 to get some idea. Actually, this book is written by several authors, you know, including Rector. Prof. Adi also wrote a book. Prof. Raimi also has a chapter there. We talk about humanizing education, spiritual values, and we talk about, you know, religiosity. One thing about this book is that it's more practical in nature. Even our arwah Prof. Kamal Hassan also has a chapter here. There's one on by our famous professor in Maqasid Sharia, Auda. Jasa Auda also has a chapter here. And then Prof. Azizan Baharudin, well known from University Malaya. Prof. Khalid also have some, and myself, I wrote on the circular economy together with my student, Brother Siddiq. So this is our small contribution here. This book, of course, being book lah. You read also, you don't do, so no point. But understanding, I think, I hope what I have imparted today is that, it is critical that, what is available is in the Quran and Sunnah. This is my conscience is that, if it's there, why not, we read and do what we believe lah, and hopefully some people, that we are teachers that at least 5 minutes, after we teach all the Quran, and then they ask our student, how do we practice it? For, the student is smarter than us, I tell you, the student, when I teach this marketing, sustainable marketing, I remember, they come with so many ideas of being sustainable. Sustainable bag, what do you call that? They come with things biodegradable, this sort of things, that they come, I mean, they know that actually, I don't know where they know it. They know it from reading, or from our standings, also, that it is possible. So we want to train our students lah. We want to train our students to be smart and to be, keep up with this sustainable thing, and this is what we want to do. That's the only way we can compete with the West. Smart today, engineering, Prof, we talk about electric cars, so on and so on. Our engineering student here can also do the same thing, right? So this is what we want. What's the comment? This is what we want, overall. So hopefully for future, I think we can have more discussion. I'm willing to do more of this at the kuliah or what problem. Yeah, I think.
Okay, sure, Doctor. Inshallah. Thank you so much for the remark, Doctor. So, once again, I open the floor maybe on the Zoom here. Maybe you want to give some verbal remarks or questions to Dr. Zul, or maybe in the YouTube live. If you have any other questions, you can ask Dr. Zul just right now.
My slide is available kan, Afiq kan?
Yes.
My slide is
So if
available. And then my email is behind there lah. I'm using my Gmail, but you still can get to me. But I would like some comments of what I said, The idea is that we can share and expand more on the practical aspects of what sustainability is all about. Because one way or another, it's going to affect us. If it not affect us, it's going to affect our children. So at some point, we cannot run from this knowledge, of this sustainability, of how you're going to, So my worry is that, okay. You want to take picture for all of us or what?
All right. Okay, sure. Maybe before we take the picture, Doctor, so maybe a bit conclusion or maybe closing remarks from you.
Okay, given already. But I just hope what you've been here for 1 hour, been quite useful. I enjoyed about 71 here. I'm quite pleased for this amount. There are also, I'm sure, people from Indonesia, other countries as well, and they can benefit of it. And the idea is, of course, making IIUM the leader of sustainability. So that so the other aspect of it, that we want people to learn from us, and we want our scholars to be leaders of this as well.
Right.
So in the conference, they talk about we have to come out with a white paper, some kind of suggestion. I hope in a way this has also contributed to that in a way. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, once again, thank you so much, Associate Professor Dr. Zulkifli Abdul Razak, the Research Fellow of INHAT IIUM, for giving us a wonderful insight about SDG 18, Bridging Spirituality for Values for Sustainable Development. So, as we can see that maybe before this, or maybe we are commonly hear about 17 SDG, when we can add another one SDG, which is SDG 18, and can bridge it towards the spirituality in the SDG itself. And Once again, thank you so much. Doctor, maybe for your information, we are having more than 70 people in this Zoom live, and also almost or maybe more than 400 people actually in YouTube live. Yeah, so thank you so much
Masya Allah.
for those who are joining here
Alhamdulillah, I'm
in
so
Zoom as
happy.
well
Masya Allah,
as in
syukur.
YouTube. Alhamdulillah. So we hope that this sharing session benefit all of the viewers here. And yeah, before we dismiss, maybe as have been stated by Dr. Jasik, we take picture for those who are in Zoom, inshallah.
Yeah, Phil.
Right. Right. For those who are in Zoom, can open their camera. Okay. Try to take the first page first. Okay, sir. Okay, ready? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, once again. Okay, second page. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Afiq. Thank you, everyone,
Okay,
for
sure.
attending.
Thank you so much,
Alhamdulillah.
Doctor, and also everyone who are here. So we have already put in the evaluation form link in the Zoom and also YouTube live chat box, so you can fill in the evaluation for our improvement. And we end our session for today with the recitation of the Tasbih Kafarah and Surah Al-As.
Also, excuse me, is there any possibility to share the slides of the today's session?
It's already there, isn't it? The slide.
Yeah, the slides already being shared in the IAM announcement
Oh, okay. That's good.
yesterday. Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, sure.
Okay, thank you very much, Brother
Thank you,
Afiq,
everyone.
everyone.
All right, thank you so much,
Prof, thanks
Dr.
for
Zul.
attending, Prof. Thanks for your
Thank
millions of
you
time.
all. Ya,
Brother
Muslim
Siddiq
Mas.
also here. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much,
Salam.
Dr. Zul.